We should have a theme song.
But
You ever think about that?
yeah. No, actually.
Oh, no.
Did you play an instrument growing up?
Played drums.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Were you good?
I mean, yeah, like high school.
Oh, because you were in band.
Yeah.
Do you have pictures from that time?
No.
Okay. I was going to say we could insert
Whenever people have pictures from their high school, I'm like, wow, that's crazy.
Did your mom not take pictures?
No.
Or your dad? Well,
Girl. Welcome back, everybody, to Byline. Welcome back, everybody, to Byline, Bisexuals Who Read. A podcast where we are two bisexuals who read very different books, and we come to the internet's pleasure to debate them. Mostly we just kind of agree, and then we kind of move on, but, you know, you get it. I'm your fun Uncle Carlton.
and I'm Kennedy.
Refuses to give herself any sort of title.
I tried Kooky Kennedy, and that felt a little too... that felt way too, like, Blue's Cluesy.
Yeah.
But that's part of my problem,
Yeah.
I think, is that I give Blue's Clues energy. Like, I give,
Like the dog?
Like...
Or Steve?
Like the cartoons you would put on for your children at 9 a.m. on a Saturday.
That's what you give, or the name Kooky Kennedy gives.
Well, both. You think? You don't think?
No, what?
I think that all the time.
like educational vibes, like educational.
Yeah, like school. I kind of look very.
I see. I
know.
see. I thought you meant fun, and I was like,
Oh. No, damn. All right.
what's going on?
Not much. Not much. What's going on with you?
Not much. I feel like the camera turns on, and I'm like I feel like I have an electric vibe before it comes on and turns on, and I'm like, I gotta lock in. I gotta lock in, and I gotta be serious. I've had in my head this like Sally Rooney theme song planned, but then every time the camera comes on, I can't do it. I can't do that.
No, do it. It's a safe space.
Wait. I was gonna just start the episode like without you suspecting it and just be like Sally Rooney, Sally Rooney.
Oh my god!
And you would just be very confused. And this is the issue with, like, when you plan things out in your head and then it's just like it just doesn't come out smoothly.
I thought that came out really smooth.
Well, you know.
You want to break into it?
Sure.
Should we dive right in?
Yeah.
Chapters 4 through 6.
Do you so far in general, do you like this book? Would you
Oh my
say?
god, I love it.
Okay.
See, this is what's the so yeah, chapters 4 through 6 presented a bit of a problem for me in regards to this book club close
Having to
reading
stop
that we're
yourself?
doing. Huh?
Having to stop yourself?
Having to stop myself, but also because I'm going to have to not talk about a lot of the things that I anticipate putting into my research proposal.
Oh.
Because I really want to use Rooney for some academic plans that I have. And the night that I was finishing chapters 4 through 6, I realized something because it harkened back to this political theory that I actually have on my shelf over there. It was like 11 p.m. and I had both of the books open and I was going back and forth and then taking rampant notes, and yeah, I will not bring any of that up today, but it was really exciting for me. I had a really great time, and yeah, I'm loving it. I think it remains probably my third favorite of hers. I think I would concur with the rating that you gave of Rooney's Oeuvre.
It goes in reverse order.
No, it goes in that order for me.
No,
Same
that's
one.
what I meant, like reverse publication order.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
She only, and how exciting is it that she's only getting better?
Yeah.
Like that doesn't happen all the time. How about you? How are you enjoying it on this like second full reread of yours?
I'm loving it. The audiobook, I think, is only because I have listened to it now like 3 times or something. I used to love it, but now I don't like how she does Connell's voice. It's just like when you imagine someone's or a character's voice for so long, and then I don't know, and then I hear it and I'm just like, why is it so gruff?
Is she Irish?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
The part where Marianne is like, if I told you I wanted you to fuck me, right here. And I was like, it was just so, I was like, oh, wow.
Was that your Irish accent?
Yeah.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Every bit of Irish accent I know of is from the movie Brave, which
I've never seen it.
I'm not surprised. It's a Disney Pixar movie where her mom turns into the bear. Yeah, I also didn't see it.
Oh,
but
okay.
from the clips online, people make fun of the accent, not because it's bad, because it's just
She's
like
Scottish.
yeah.
Okay, that's different.
Oh wait, you're right. It's entirely different. Oh, my Irish accent comes from this Scottish movie.
Chapter 4. So as I'm reading at the end of the chapter, I go back and I write what I think plot-wise happened. And I wrote 4 words. I said raffle party, assault, and care.
Yeah.
Which jogs my memory in the sense that Marianne is putting together, is that like this like fundraiser dance party with the girls who normally ostracize her, one of whom has really taken a liking to her. I think they have like a real little friendship going.
Karen?
Yes.
Yeah.
The boys arrive. They all kind of mingle together. Some older boys get there who shouldn't really be there. One of them sexually assaults Marianne in front of everyone. My God. And then the remaining people at the party, some of whom like both think she deserved it, thought it was funny, terrible.
Yeah.
And then Connell, in a very subtle way, kind of steps up in front of everyone and takes her home in a departure from him trying to keep their relationship both secret and covert. That's what happens in this chapter.
Yeah. I love the thrill that she gets when she's like, they're wondering where Connell is to arrive at the club.
Yeah.
And then she texts Connell secretly and asks if he's coming.
Yeah.
And then the thrill that she gets from being like, I could just blow up this whole spot right now.
I love that part.
And the amount of power she feels and just how, like, probably for the first time that we see, like, she feels good about herself. Maybe for a negative reason, but like...
Yeah, it's the access to someone.
Yeah.
Have you ever felt that way? Where you're like, I know this about this person.
Yeah. When you're classic MFA, when you're like all your workshop is all hanging out at a bar, but then you've been hooking up with someone without anybody knowing, and then you're just like texting, and it's like, wow, I could blow up this entire fucking friend group right now. Yeah,
it's a thrill.
Yeah, and again, going back to last episode, and I was like, why? At least I feel like we're given evidence that Marianne does actually want to fit in with these people.
This
is because Rachel, basically her rival during this section, is like boasts about the information she has on Connell that she thinks Marianne doesn't have, and then Marianne's like, actually, I know what's actually happening. I imagine that the big emotional shifts that they have in reaction to whatever the other does. Like when Marianne asks if Connell wants her to leave him alone or whatever, and then he's finally, for once, completely honest, and he's like, that would suck, I will be pissed, and I don't want that. Yeah. Just such a moment.
She is... And you had mentioned this the last time. Like, she is constantly seeking out affirmation from Connell.
Right.
She's like, just tell me. Like, tell me if it's bad. Tell me if it's good. I just want to know. And because Connell doesn't really know, or he does know, and he's deciding not to know, he's very reluctant to give it to her. And even here, when he takes her home, it's not a, like, white knight sweeping her off her feet. Like, he is kind of hesitant to do it. There is this like delayed, not like reaction. Like he has to be coaxed out from behind the curtain, so to speak, to actually interject and like put his social currency on the line to protect her. Even if that's just by asking if she's okay, which is crazy. This whole scene is crazy.
I know. So the first time I read it years ago, I was struck by how I could so easily see any other writer clogging up the scene with like unnecessary language. Like I really feel like she strips down the scene to only necessary information. For instance, we kind of know who the older boys are, but not really. They're older boys. We're not. She doesn't delve into why they're here, who they are, how they got here, anything like that. But I think the effects of what they do are so felt, maybe because of that, the mystery surrounding why is this happening? Why did they, choose to antagonize her?
Yeah, it's very sparse.
Yeah.
I don't always know if I like it though.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm riveted in the sense that I want to keep reading. I'm entranced by what I'm reading, but there is no emotional spell that I'm under when I'm reading it. And I think that's because of the lack of detail. Yeah, I think that's maybe happening quickly is the essence of it. That happens with the sex scenes too. It happens quickly. And because you're kind of gliding through it, I'm not like specifically sad. I'm just kind of experiencing it.
Interesting.
Does that make sense?
It makes sense, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, but you're saying you are emotionally
This is like
tethered.
My peak preferred way of a scene playing out.
Sure.
And maybe
you write like this too.
Maybe.
Except yours made me cry, so
I was literally gonna say this, like, not to bring myself too much into this, but like maybe you see this in my writing of like
I do.
that is for sure my preferred way of a scene playing out. Of the readers don't need all the information, in my opinion, to be hooked into the scene. But I think it's, obviously, as all books are, just a taste thing. Like, what do you... And then a taste thing, but also sometimes things work in certain books, and then the exact same technique can be put in another book and then not work there.
I prefer writing that doesn't... I was going to say devastate me, but I do love writing that does that. But in terms of taste and like what I'm drawn to, it is things that feel like they're very calm. And then the deeper you dive into it, like you see how rough the water is underneath.
That makes so much more sense now why you would agree with my ranking of these books, Intermezzo, Beautiful World, and then this, because I think it gets calmer the further you go up.
Yeah, for sure.
Interesting.
But Intermezzo I found really emotionally devastating.
Yeah.
So there isn't a rhyme or reason.
Exactly.
But I think what we're talking about, there's something there.
Yeah.
This is the very end of the chapter, and Connell tells her that he loves her. Because we come to learn that Marianne was abused.
Going back
by her
to
father.
The emotional reaction that they have based on what they've just been experienced by the other person. Yeah.
Yeah. So Marianne comes out as she comes out as an abused child, as a victim. Her horrible father beat her and her mom, which is where we now know her brother learned his ways. So really just a very horrible family background. And Connell has this really tender moment with her. He says, "I would never hurt you, okay? Never." She nods and says nothing. "You make me really happy," he says. His hand moves over her hair and he adds, "I love you. I'm not just saying that. I really do." And then the very end of this paragraph, I think, is so moving. She says that she's never believed herself fit to be loved by any person. But now she has a new life of which this is the first moment. And even after many years have passed, she will still think, yes, that was it. The beginning of my life.
Now, this is obviously insight you get when you've read the book already. First time, I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I just read this. Like, this incredible paragraph. Now, this time I read it, I was like, Wow, such a masterful way of setting up such a devastating fall in the next two chapters.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and it
Yeah.
really,
It is a windfall.
it's just such like a simple technique to like give us the, I guess, stakes of the situation and like the intensity in just like a paragraph, and then that gives the context of why the next two chapters with the big dance at their school, why that matters so much, because
Yeah.
without this context of like what Marianne is experiencing,
Yeah.
it takes away from the emotional devastation
Yeah.
of the next few chapters.
Yeah. And it's strange because, and I talked about this a little last time, how this headstrong, independent woman is so beholden to or defines her life by this man.
Yeah.
And I mean, I guess you could get psychoanalytic and like trace things back to what is this very troubled relationship with her father and her brother. But I think it's interesting that Sally Rooney is writing about this. I think this is part of the gripe that people have a little bit with her, is because she positions herself as obviously like a leftist, socialist, feminist person whose romantic writing can undercut some of that sometimes.
I get that.
But I think it's interesting because like no one is accepted from the systems in which they were raised.
Yeah.
Like you're going to, whether you like it or not, whether you know it or not, whether you're and I think that's what she's also exploring a lot in both Connell and Marianne, is like consciousness and like how conscious are we of our choices and why we're doing something or if we're doing it. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think it's like an accident for her to, be this giant feminist and everything like that, and then write these stories, because it's like you said, the systems exist. Feminists, it's the whole argument of like, can feminists not still enjoy a man's touch or whatever,
or attention
or anything like that? Like, does that mean you're suddenly not feminist if like you enjoyed the way a man look at you, if you're a straight woman, whatever?
Yeah. And isn't it better to admit that and to deny and pretend that it's not happening?
Yes,
to you?
And I think that's the thing. It's like, just because she, is a feminist and is an advocate and everything like that, doesn't mean she isn't allowed to tell a very raw story of people that are not her, like experiencing these very human moments in their lives. Like, this is a young girl. This is a teenage girl in high school.
Yeah. And I'm curious about your relationship to this, like as a cis man.
Oh.
When I think about cataloging my life, especially my life over the last 4 years, I catalog it or segment it into chapters that are typically defined by the relationships I'm in at the time.
Yeah.
And like who I'm in love with and like why my being in love with them is affecting other parts of my life. Like I will be the first to admit that. So I guess my question to you is, do you do the same thing? And I'm taken again by the line, that was it, the beginning of my life, because that is what I mean. Yep. Like, even I understand that line really deeply. So does that also resonate with you? And maybe it is partly like your queerness, and that did represent for you on a whole nother level the beginning of your life in a way. But I don't know if you think of it in those terms.
I guess it's kind of a yes or no. Like, yes, but I imagine not to the same intensity that you feel it, or that Marianne is feeling it. Because I do think of segments of my life of, oh yeah, I remember this because I was dating this person at this time, and then I went and told them about her. Something to that effect. Yeah, I guess it's just like, I do, not as intensely, but I do very much get this sentiment. I understand it.
Like when you moved to New York and you start really dating men,
right?
Like, did that feel like the beginning of your life or a part of your life? So
a part of my life, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, but part of my life.
Not the beginning of your life.
No, because like I just said earlier, I am if there's anything in the world that I would say like I care about is books. So I would say more so the beginning of my life was go like the first day of classes in my creative writing program because that's just like the thing I'm obsessed with.
Yeah.
But I do think meeting Lewis was the start of a different part of my life.
Yeah.
Which, and going back to Sally Rooney in this book, and especially in her most recent two books where they follow more mature characters, it goes back to exactly what you said of I think her characters tend to be people who their lives are defined by who they are infatuated with.
Yeah. I think that is also what makes Intermezzo such a success for me, is that she really expands
Mm.
how we, and family figures do, they're just as prevalent in many ways as the romantic characters
Yeah.
in her books.
Maybe it's because this chapter was so straightforward. Like there's a lot of emotional things going on, but I did have like the least amount of notes of this chapter. I enjoyed it. Not that I didn't enjoy it. It was just like it's intense, things happen, and it's like very concrete, direct things happening to Marianne. And is this a chapter, I believe it is, where they go to the abandoned house?
No, it is. It is. It is.
What
it
did you
is.
think of that? Because I thought
I found it so boring. Sorry.
no, again, me assuming things about you. I thought you would love it because of the Connell's perspective of like, why don't we give these houses to blah 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 blah.
I thought that was kind of trite.
And I do too, but I think that's again, not to Sally's a genius, whatever. I do think she did that on purpose because it's like this 17-year-old boy talking about like government things that he doesn't understand. And he's like, why do like it's like people who are 30-year-old here in New York City and it's like, why can't we just give this brownstone to like the man off the street, like things like that. I did find it very interesting in how he tries to call himself a communist and everything like that.
I thought the house itself was very uninteresting.
That's so crazy. I thought you would have a field day with that section. I love it. I think I just love how like raw and bizarre. I love a bizarre scene. Why this abandoned house? Why is it like a place that they go and hang out and like potentially have sex on a soiled mattress? And
The parts that I get tired of so far have been times where it feels very high school to me, and that just felt very high school to me.
when we get past this section, okay, we'll check in.
It'll break open.
Yeah.
There's a line actually related to the ghost estate in that she's not aware of it. She's not made
Right.
aware of it until Connell introduces her
Yeah.
to it because she's so excluded from the social festivities of her class. And on page 34, she says, likewise, it's impossible for her to know which families in town are considered good and which aren't. And she says it's the kind of thing she would like to know just to be able to reject it the more completely. She's from a good family and Connell is from a bad one. That much she knows. And then she goes on to describe why that is by very like superficial standards. And then towards the end on page 35, he says he often makes blithe remarks about things he wishes. I wish you didn't have to go, he says when she's leaving, or I wish you could stay the night. If he really wished for any of those things, Marianne knows, then they would happen. Connell always gets what he wants and then feels sorry for himself when what he wants doesn't make him happy.
Yes.
And that I also think really encapsulates. This is what I was trying to talk about the last time too, about like Connell not understanding himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, as an ascension, the world is, yeah. And again, I think that comment about, not that I know anything about anything, but the comment about like, why don't we just give these houses to the poor? I'm not being thick. I'm genuinely asking. Is I just think she does such a good job of like being like, Connell doesn't know anything. All he knows is like go to school, play football, get good grades. But then beyond the school sphere, I feel like he's so, how do I even exist outside of that? I'm so,
well, right. But I think what these couple of paragraphs, I feel like they actually say the opposite.
interesting.
In that It's Marianne who doesn't know anything about the
Oh
world.
no, I think they both don't.
They
Yes,
both
no,
don't know. Okay.
I think it is a symptom of she, just like how you just read how she wish she knew these things so she could more. She thinks she knows so much more and how she doesn't need to listen to the professor and whatever. But then she actually doesn't know anything.
But,
Mm-hmm.
and again, I'm going to push back. I don't
Mm-hmm.
think she's not listening because she doesn't, because she thinks she knows more. She's not listening because she doesn't want to.
Right.
And she doesn't want to because she knows herself.
Yeah.
While Connell may know more about the circumstances in which they live, like he's aware of, like, again, like this social chain of command and like the nature of the village and the town, he doesn't know himself.
Right.
Like Marianne has a very good sense of self-understanding. I mean, that's why she was able in that moment to say, this is the beginning of my life, because she's so cognizant of what's happening to
Right.
her. Whereas Connell, like, would never have said that that's the beginning of his life,
Yeah.
because he's too dense
Yeah.
to go inward. Should we go to chapter 5?
Yeah.
Okay, so 2 days later.
Yes. Oh, this is the one. Oh, right. Okay, so we open at the hospital. Connell's grandmother has fallen, and we go back and forth in time.
She's fallen and she
this
couldn't
way.
get up.
Right. What I think the significant parts of this novel, of this chapter, is that we get more of Lorraine. We learn more of her and Connell's, not just their relationship, but like their dynamics as mother and son. The very, to me, weird, like non-typical,
Yes,
like
very
dynamics they
non-traditional.
have.
Yes.
She catches them having sex essentially. She doesn't care.
She likes Marianne.
Yeah, she likes Marianne, and I believe this is the chapter that we learn that Connell didn't invite Marianne to the big dance called the Debs.
Yeah.
Like I was alluding to, the emotional devastation is felt because of the very last line of last chapter of, Marianne feeling like this is the start of her life with this boy. And
well, and if we cut to that scene for Connell, we do get it from his perspective for just a minute. He reflects back on Marianne telling this thing about her family, this thing being that her dad hit her. He started telling her that he loved her. It just happened, like drawing your hand back when you touch something hot. She was crying and everything, and he just said it without thinking. Was it true? And this for me is such a telling line again about Connell's character. He didn't know enough to know that.
Yeah.
He didn't know enough about what? Like himself, her, his emotions. Like does he not have enough experience loving, like, and this begs another really interesting question about love.
Mm-hmm.
Is love comparative? And by that I mean, like, can you only know how much you truly love something by how much more or how much less you love something else? It's both like exceptionally romantic for you to marry a high school sweetheart, but people also look down on it because they say you haven't experienced other people.
Yeah. I think that's the exact trap that he's falling into.
Yeah.
Of like when he says he doesn't know enough, he feel like he just literally, all the questions you ask, I think he just feels like he doesn't know enough.
Yeah.
In comparison.
Yeah.
I think love in general tends to be, what's the word where you're with one person?
Monogamous.
We're so monogamy focused as a society that I think the only way we've learned to equate love intensity is through comparisons. And how do I, it's the dreaded thing that therapists always talk about of the how do I know? Yeah. And that's a question I don't think you have to answer it for yourself. That's the thing.
The other thing about Connell that I think is really telling in this chapter is on page 51. He says, Connell wished he knew how other people conducted their private lives so that he could copy from example.
Yeah, exactly.
And again, it's just, it demonstrates how uninterested and unwilling he is to self-examine.
Mm-hmm. And so I think the slide back into, actually, even though I told her I love her, I'm going to reject Marianne, just go back to what's easy, isn't dramatic. And while, like, intense, it's not surprising that he does it.
No.
One note I wrote, the fact that this chapter is 2 days later speaks to the severity of the chapter because it breaks the established trend of jumping weeks or months.
It's true. Yeah.
It's like all of a sudden, oh, why is this only 2 days later?
Yeah.
I just found that interesting on this read. And I love that you get Lorraine as a, I mean, I guess more or less a temperature check. I love her as a character in general. When I first read this book, I remember texting my friend Morgan and being like, this mom character is like, she's doing a lot. I don't get, because this is a chapter where she literally makes him, he tells her the story of how he acts Rachel out to the depths. She makes him pull over, stop the car, and she takes the bus home. Mm-hmm. It's obviously like a silly fictional reaction, but I think it shows the severity to which, one, how fucked up it is, but also how disappointed his mom is that she has raised this. So I took it as,
yeah,
like,
that's a good point.
It's inferred from Lorraine's big reaction that this is how she was treated in school, but not even looking at it that deeply because that's not really part of this narrative. This is how she's treated now. She's treated as, she has been treated as Mary Ann in school. And like I said, not even looking at it that deeply, that's probably how she's treated like Mary Ann now, of people, because she brings up to Connell, are you hiding her because her mom would be embarrassed of you? And then Connell's confused by this because, like,
and that's what she would understand.
Yeah, and then she's like, well, because, you know, we're of a lower class and blah blah blah. And so I think that's why the reaction is so severe.
Yeah,
because she just understands deeply being in Mary Ann's shoes.
That's a really good point. I didn't think of it from that perspective. I just thought of it as like someone being disappointed in their son.
Right. And I think that's another aspect of it. Yeah.
Well, it's a more like, it's the obvious one. I like how you're thinking from, you're like deeply entrenched in Lorraine's perspective as a character.
Yeah.
But that's you being very good at inhabiting your character's shoes, or like multiple characters' shoes. I
think I just liked her a lot around this time. I think this is the benefit of rereading books. You pay attention to things that you might have glossed over earlier, because I agree, when I just glossed over this as a big reaction because, you know, she's disappointed, but the way that Lorraine speaks in all of these chapters we read so far, I think shows so much about how she sees this town. She sees her place in this town. Mm-hmm. I wrote that I love Lorraine as a mother and as a foil to Mary Ann's mom. It's so interesting how you don't need to see Mary Ann's mom to see her impact here. Because we've seen the house and now know that she may look down on Connell because of his lack of money and family reputation. She as in Mary Ann's mom. Mm-hmm. We've seen their house as a comparison. And I don't know, before she's even appears in the novel, you get
Which is interesting.
Yeah, you get a lot from Lorraine of who Mary Ann's mom is. I don't know. Lorraine is just an interesting character. Mm-hmm. And we also get from Lorraine the first instance of someone has a fucking job in this book. Mm-hmm. And it's not a pretty job, and it's in some ways a demeaning job, and it kind of demonstrates their economic struggles, like without having an info dump of I'm Connell and I'm poor and my mom's a cleaner because we're poor. What she does and who she is as a character shows her outlook on life. Mm. The concrete messy details of it, while we're following these two teenagers who are so head in the clouds. This is the most intense thing I've ever experienced, and I need to care so much about how these people look at me. Then we get Lorraine's perspective, and it's like, I need to go fucking work so that I can provide for you and myself. Mm-hmm.
So chapter 6 is very short.
4 months later.
August 2011. They're presumably about to start school. They've just gotten their results from their exams back. Connell's top of the class. Mm. You find Marianne in the backyard of her estate, and her brother has managed to like somewhat befriend just kind of by proxy, Connell.
Yeah.
Connell ends up on the phone with her brother Alan, and Alan kind of wants Marianne to talk to her in the sake of embarrassing her.
I literally wrote, God, Marianne's brother is a sniveling piece of shit.
Yeah, he
Just
really
such a
is.
good job creating such an unlikable fucking kid. Even beyond like the physical abuse that he puts her through, just such a cowardice,
Yeah.
pick me ass. God, I hate him every time.
I do too. Their relationship and its tensions are more visceral than anything between her and Connell. Like even the nice stuff.
Yeah.
Because you are so worried for her safety.
Yeah.
The paragraph that I'd highlighted is just what we've been talking about. Marianne is like Connell's sublimated, eroticized fascination. Marianne is the repressed desire that encrypts a hidden truth. But at what cost? And so, anyways, that's, again, I'm not going to super get into that. But on page 66, there's this paragraph about, she says, he didn't do anything bad. Or that bad, I should say. He had never tried to delude her into thinking that she was socially acceptable. She'd deluded herself. He had just been using, and this is what I mean by like secret private enjoyment. He had just been using her as a kind of private experiment, and her willingness to be used had probably shocked him. He pitied her in the end, but she also repulsed him. In a way, she feels sorry for him now because he has to live with the fact that he had sex with her of his own free choice and he liked it. That says more about him, the supposedly ordinary and healthy person, than it does about her. And that's where it just unlocked so much for me. This repulsion that he secretly enjoys that simultaneously resists interpretation and communication, and that's why I've been harping on so much about him refusing to like acknowledge or discern what it is about Marianne that he likes so much, which is her, quote unquote, like abnormality, which I guess is another question, is like, what is normal? And we're taking that to mean Marianne, but what's not normal to me is like the way Alan treats Marianne or the way Connell treats. It's about like, it's about the way we treat people.
Yeah.
So that's what I was thinking about while reading chapter 6.
Yeah. First of all, I agree. I just agree. His fascination with her is both interesting and just cruel in many senses.
Yeah.
His initial interest in her because she is